Good morning. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm absolutely blinded by staring at the sun. So if you're there, I don't even know. So I can't see a thing. But hey, makes for good lighting, right? And nice backdrop. So, anywho, we're in Genesis. Gotta move my bookmark, chapter 4, verse 6. It says, "So the Lord said to Cain, why are you angry, and why is your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin lies at the door, and its desire is for you, but you should rule over it." So, it's pretty simple, right? Is that God tells Cain, like, why are you so frustrated? Don't you know that you just need to do well? Do well. That's it. Do what you know you're supposed to do. Hold fast, and don't worry about everything else. You know, last night's youth study was good. We were talking in John 4, the woman of the well, but we started finishing up John chapter 3. And, you know, one point we made was that when John's disciples came to him, John the Baptist, they were kind of confused, you know, like, well, you know, now this Jesus guy, he's baptizing more people than you, and disciples are leaving you and they're going to him. And in short, he says that there's the bridegroom and there's the bride. Jesus Christ is our bridegroom, is the groom. And we, the church, are his bride. And then in short, he just says, hey, but I'm the best man. It's not about me. It's not my wedding. It's his wedding. So why should I care if this goes that way or that goes that way? All I know is my job at this wedding is to make the wedding go as smoothly as possible. It's my job to make sure that the best man, or that as the best man, that the groom has his needs met, the bride has her needs met, and that it's going to be the best wedding you've ever seen. And if at any point the best man starts trying to get attention or draw, you know, it becomes about him, that's like the worst man, not the best man, right? I mean, maybe you've been a best man or a maid of honor, and it's like, we asked the youth last night, could you imagine if your best friend, who is your maid of honor or your best man, started trying to draw attention at your wedding? You know, you're in the middle of the ceremony and they're doing stuff up there trying to get eyes on them instead of eyes on the bride and groom. Well, here with Cain, his countenance fell because it wasn't going his way. It wasn't what he wanted. And it became about him. Well, I don't do sheep. I tend the field, and I want to bring it my way. And you know, why isn't my thing good enough? And why this and why? And Cain got extremely self-centered. And that's the problem with us. Do you know that pretty much every time you're disappointed, for the most part, it's because you're self-centered? It's because you love yourself. When things don't go your way, the way you thought, the way you think, we get disappointed. But in reality, if I'm just the best man, I'm a guy who's here to make God's plan go forward, well, then it was never about me. It was never about my plan. It was never about what was going on. And so when things go up and things go down, I have to ask myself, well, is the world still in the hands of a sovereign and almighty God? And if the answer is yes, well then, I don't need to get all caught up and worry about all this stuff. You know, I want to just focus on serving him. And so that's what he tells Cain. He says, why are you angry? Why is your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And as we said the other day, and we quoted Galatians 6, God is not mocked. What a man reaps or sows, that he shall reap, right? And if we sow to the flesh, we're going to reap corruption. But if we sow to the Spirit, everlasting life and riches. That's the idea, is that we should not grow weary while doing good, because in due time we're going to receive our reward. And so that's where we need to be thinking, is it was never about us. It's about him. And all God asks of you, do well. You know what you're supposed to do. Do it. Don't worry about the results. Don't worry about if it turns out the way you thought it was supposed to be. Don't even worry if you understand it all the way. Just do well. And then by faith you have to receive it, that God accepts you, that God is pleased with you. Well, it's not as good. I'm not as good. It's not going well. Well, by faith, receive it, that God accepts you. That's the whole idea. Is if you do well, know that you are accepted. If you do well, will you not be accepted? If you do not do well, sin lies at the door. And again, its desire is to rule over you. That's that word for desire we saw back in chapter 3. And so, if you get caught up in frustration, or you're not happy with your performance, and you're focusing on you, well, you're opening a door for sin. Sin wants to come in, and it wants to rule over you. It wants to take control. And so, just do well. And by faith, believe that God has accepted you and received you. There you go. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Take care. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.